Hello, I'm Catherine Borgia, Special Advisor to Westchester County Executive Ken Jenkins, focusing on women and families issues. We're here in Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it is so important to shine a light on real-life stories and experiences. Domestic violence is not something that happens to other people or in other families. It can happen across all cultural and socioeconomic levels, and it knows no boundaries, and it causes a great deal of dysfunction in our society. So today I am joined by Letitia Gottashe, who is an author, child and family advocate, community organizer, and educator. Letitia continues to expand her impact through book drips and panel discussions on child abuse and domestic violence awareness and prevention. She also is the author of a forthcoming memoir, I Ain't Done Yet, which is my personal motto too for my own life. So I was very interested to read your story, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So Letitia, thank you so much for joining us. We're so delighted to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So tell us a little bit about your story. What brought you to the work that you do?
Actually, I started this book about 30 years ago.
Wow.
Before I left the country. I sat down one Saturday afternoon and I was going to write my masterpiece. And then the phone rang and rang and rang. So I put it away.
Yeah.
Picked it up a couple of years ago, put it away again. And then finally, the county had a program called Launch 1000.
Right.
And I was looking at it for my son, and my son said, hey, don't you have a book to finish?
Right. A lot of people feel they have a book in them, but they don't know that process. So I'm sure you're not alone in going through that. So let's talk a little bit about your memoir. It details a lot of your very personal experiences. And when I read the excerpt that I received, I wondered to myself, if you knew now what you knew then, what's some of the advice you would give to your younger self, like as a child or a teenager or even as a young mom?
I still think about that because unfortunately for me, a lot of the services that are available now were not available then. So I'm just unwinding all of that stuff myself now in therapy. I just started therapy about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, whereas that wasn't an option when I was a child. I was isolated from everyone except my parents.
Right.
And trying to deal with that. So what would I say to that girl? I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that.
Yeah. So you talk a little bit about the experience of being in a family violence situation, and I think we know from a lot of research that isolation is a huge part of it, and that allows things to transpire that everyone then feels like they have to be silent about or feel shame of. And how did you experience that growing up? Did you know that what was going on? Did you question it as it was happening? Did you learn that later?
I learned it later.
Yeah.
Not going through it, I was just trying to make it through that day.
Right.
With basically being under the radar. Since I was isolated anyway, it's like if I could just melt into the walls and nobody would see me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't really get a voice until after I graduated college.
So let's talk about a little bit about the family dynamics. What you're comfortable sharing. I know from the memoir that there's a little bit of intergenerational trauma happening and repeating itself in your family. Yeah.
A lot of that you know about when we have family dinners. Thanksgiving or Christmas, and the whole family comes around and they're telling stories, and you're hearing this as a child, how your grandmother used to throw stuff and your grandfather used to duck about stuff flying over his head because he was infidel. So he had children outside of the marriage and going back and forth. And I'm like, why is she mad with the people in the street? Because my grandmother used to beat up women in the street for my grandfather. And it's like, she doesn't have a problem with them, it's the people. She made a vow to her husband, so her problem should be with her husband and not with these other people. But she was fighting everybody. It's like, that's not cool.
All of the work that you have done on yourself and then giving out to the world, I'm sorry that these things happen to you. And also, I'm proud of you that you were able to turn that around and really give other people this level of information. So is there anything else you would like to give as advice to either someone who's facing family violence or who sees it in a family that's close to them on, what's the first thing to do?
There have national lines for domestic violence.
Right.
They have national lines for child abuse.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with them. Take them out for coffee.
Yeah.
You know, I've been noticing these kind of things. You're okay?
Yeah.
The first thing, ask them if they're okay.
Yeah.
And if that's a person that you really love, that you say that's that sister bond or that's that brother bond, you say, that's the way you come to, you know, I'm coming to you like this. Because there was I've been a person that came to one of my domestic violence book trips. He said, one of my friends, I think they're in that situation.
Yeah.
Said, I'm going to, you know, because I was giving out information for the different places like Safe Horizons, my sister's place, Open Doors. So they were having that information going out the door. So I'm going to have a conversation with them. So that's the purpose. Right. People come up to me, yeah, my uncle did this and blah, blah, blah. I'm so glad you're doing this. Yeah. So I know that it's people want to hear it.
Right.
Even when I was what we call having curiosity questions to see if this is a topic that people would want to read about.
Right.
And when you qualify somebody, you first ask them, have they ever been in this situation? Because if they hadn't been in that situation, they wouldn't qualify for me to question them.
Right.
But when they qualified and I question them, they say, thank you. I could see myself in parts of their stories at different stages of my life.
Right.
It's like, wow, I was like that at this age, wow. And it was like, please, continue to do this. Please, our stories need to be out there.
Yeah, yeah. Many years ago, I was involved in a teen dating violence program. And Love Shouldn't Hurt. You probably know what we did work with Hope Store and My Sister's Place to create it. And one of the interesting things, I went to several of the symposiums where they would have high school kids, was that the young men who were more likely to be the controlling partner, really, it seemed that they were very genuine and not understanding that some of the behavior that they thought was love was actually very controlling and on the road to potentially being an abusive situation. So I feel like the more that people even hear these things, the more that people can understand, regardless of the side of the equation that they're on, about, you know, why this behavior hurts. I think we're all better off. So tell me about the book. Where can people get it? Where can people hear you talk about it? What's next for you?
Well, the book is still in progress. The chapters have been fully edited.
Oh, wow.
So I'm working with my editor to do the final reflective piece.
Okay.
I originally wanted to have somebody in the field do it, but unfortunately my contacts are very busy. So what I'm doing is trying to review what's in the book, but offer the scientific information. Right. So the first story is about the year of my birth, when my mother was pregnant with me. And I go all the way back there for people to realize whatever the environment that child is in utero, whatever is outside that mother, whatever is attached to that mother, that child feels.
Yeah.
So basically, when I'm giving that reflection, I'm backing it up with the science about in utero trauma.
Right.
So when I'm talking about my relationship with my siblings, which the ones that are closest to me, because I have 10 siblings, with 3 that my mother and father had.
Right.
My father had 7 before he met my mom. So with that now, they're 5 and 7 years above me. It wasn't what they call sibling rivalry. It was sibling victimization, which is totally different. So I bring those aspects out. Yeah. And that's what we're working on. So you can't get it yet. But, if you sign up to for my newsletter.
Oh, great.
It's www.letitiagottashe.com. You'll see my site. I have newsletters that come out every other month. Nice. And it'll tell you my schedules.
Well, thank you so much for all the work you're doing and for speaking to us here today. And we'll look forward to hearing more progress about the book and certainly hearing you at various events locally. And we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being such a strong advocate and being such a strong educator on this topic. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nice to see you. So thank you so much for joining us. As Letitia mentioned, she'll be around in the area doing her book trips, and we're looking forward to seeing her book published next summer.